I still remember the look on her face as she stepped out of a black luxury car and walked toward the small house at the end of the street. She was one of the richest women in America, a billionaire known by millions. Yet that morning, her hands trembled as she knocked on the door of a struggling single father. When the door opened, she looked into his eyes and quietly said, "I came to repay my father's debt." What happened next shocked her so deeply that it changed her life forever. Before we begin, if you enjoy heartwarming stories about kindness, compassion, and life-changing moments, please subscribe to Kindness Paradise, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps us bring more inspiring stories to people around the world. The man standing at the door was Daniel Carter, a single father raising his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, in a small town in Ohio. Life had not been easy for Daniel. 5 years earlier, his wife had passed away after a long illness. Since then, Daniel had worked 2 jobs to provide for Lily. During the day, he repaired heating systems. At night, he stocked shelves at a grocery store. Money was always tight. Some months, Daniel had to choose between paying bills and buying new clothes for his daughter. But no matter how difficult life became, he never complained. Everyone in town knew him as a kind and humble man who always helped others. What Daniel never told anyone was that 20 years earlier, he had done something that changed another family's future. Back then, Daniel was a young mechanic working at a small garage. One rainy evening, an older man walked into the shop. His clothes were soaked, and he looked exhausted. His car had broken down on the highway. The repair would cost several $100s. The man lowered his head and admitted he couldn't afford it. Daniel could see the embarrassment in his eyes. Without hesitation, Daniel repaired the vehicle and refused payment. The stranger tried to protest. "You don't even know me," he said. Daniel smiled. "Maybe someday you'll help someone else." The man thanked him repeatedly before driving away. Daniel never saw him again. Or so he thought. 20 years later, the billionaire standing at his door was Emma Reynolds. Emma had inherited one of the largest technology companies in the country. Her wealth was measured in billions. Yet she wasn't there to discuss business. She was there because of a promise. A few months earlier, Emma's father had passed away. While sorting through his belongings, she discovered an old journal. Inside was a story he had written about a young mechanic who had shown him kindness when he had nothing. At the time, Emma's father had been struggling financially after losing his job. His broken-down car was his only way to attend interviews. If Daniel had not repaired it, he would have missed an important meeting. That meeting eventually led to the opportunity that transformed his life. On one page of the journal, Emma found these words: "If I ever become successful, I want to find the young mechanic who helped me when I had nothing. His kindness changed the course of my life." Emma spent weeks searching. Eventually, she found Daniel. And now she stood at his door. "I came to repay my father's debt," she said softly. Daniel invited her inside. The small living room was simple but warm. Family photos covered the walls. Emma looked around and realized this man lived far differently than the wealthy executives she met every day. She explained everything. She showed him the journal. Then she handed him an envelope. Inside was a check for $1 million. Daniel stared at it in disbelief. Emma smiled. "My father wanted you to have this. Without your kindness, our family would never have had the opportunities we received." For a moment, silence filled the room. Emma expected tears. She expected gratitude. She expected excitement. Instead, Daniel slowly placed the check back into the envelope. Then he handed it back to her. Emma blinked in surprise. "What are you doing?" she asked. Daniel smiled gently. "Your father already repaid me." Emma looked confused. "No, he didn't." "Yes," Daniel replied. "He did." She stared at him. "How?" Daniel pointed toward a photograph of Lily. "Because helping him taught me something important. Every act of kindness makes the world a little better. Your father carried that lesson with him. He built a good life. He raised a daughter who cared enough to honor his promise. That's repayment enough." Emma was speechless. No one had ever refused such a gift, especially someone who clearly needed it. Daniel continued, "If you truly want to honor your father, don't give the money to me. Use it to help people who need a second chance." Those words hit Emma harder than any business lesson she had ever learned. For years, she had measured success by profits, investments, and growth. But sitting in that small living room, she realized she had overlooked something far more valuable: kindness. Over the next several weeks, Emma couldn't stop thinking about Daniel's words. Eventually, she made a decision. Instead of giving Daniel the money, she created a foundation in her father's name. The foundation helped struggling single parents, paid emergency medical bills, and provided scholarships for children in need. The first donation was $1 million. But it didn't stop there. As news spread, other wealthy donors joined the effort. Within 2 years, the foundation had helped thousands of families across the country. One afternoon, Emma returned to visit Daniel. This time, she wasn't arriving as a billionaire repaying a debt. She was arriving as a friend. She showed him reports from the foundation. Thousands of lives had been changed. Parents had kept their homes. Children had stayed in school. Families had found hope during their darkest moments. Daniel quietly read the stories. Tears filled his eyes. "You see," Emma said with a smile, "your kindness didn't help one person. It helped thousands." Daniel looked at Lily, who was now happily playing nearby. Then he looked back at Emma. All because one person chose to help another. Emma nodded. At that moment, both of them understood a simple truth. Kindness is never wasted. Even the smallest act can travel farther than we imagine. A helping hand today can become hope for someone tomorrow. And sometimes, a single moment of compassion can echo through generations. So if there's one lesson from Daniel's story, it's this: never underestimate the power of kindness. You may never see where it leads. You may never know whose life you're changing. But every act of kindness plants a seed. And one day, that seed may grow into something far greater than you ever dreamed possible. Thank you for watching. If this story touched your heart, please like, subscribe to Kindness Paradise, and share this message with someone who could use a little hope today. Remember, kindness costs little, but its impact can last forever. Here's a stronger and more emotional alternate prompt you can use to generate a completely different story on the same title. Write a 1,000-word emotional storytelling video script in simple, plain English for a United States audience on the topic of kindness. Story title: A female billionaire told a single dad, "I came to repay my father's debt." His answer shocked her. Requirements: begin with a powerful emotional hook that immediately captures attention within the first 2 short paragraphs. The opening should create suspense, curiosity, and strong emotions that make viewers want to keep watching. After the hook, include a short call to action inviting viewers to subscribe, like, and comment, and mention the channel name Kindness Paradise. Write the story as a heartfelt narration, without using headings, scene labels, bullet points, or narrator tags. Create completely original characters, events, and plot twists different from common billionaire stories. The female billionaire should arrive intending to repay a life-changing debt her late father owed to a struggling single dad. The single father should be living a humble life, facing financial hardships while raising his child with love and dignity. Include emotional conversations, vivid descriptions, meaningful life lessons, and unexpected moments that deeply touch the audience. Build suspense throughout the story so viewers remain engaged until the end. The father's response to the billionaire's offer should be surprising, emotional, and centered on the true meaning of kindness rather than money. Show how one small act of kindness from many years ago created a ripple effect that changed countless lives. Use warm, cinematic storytelling that feels personal and relatable to American viewers. Keep the language simple, natural, and easy to understand. Include themes of gratitude, forgiveness, sacrifice, hope, family, humility, and paying kindness forward. End with a powerful and uplifting conclusion that inspires viewers to spread kindness in their own lives. Total length should be approximately 1,000 words. Make the story feel realistic, emotional, and suitable for a viral YouTube storytelling channel. This prompt will generate a fresh version of the story with different characters, plot twists, and emotional moments while keeping the same title and kindness theme.